Here is the entry for paper 11 of the Master Glossary, extracted and defined directly from your 11th paper. The Hobart Law of Macroengineering, paper 11, Failure Modes of Rigid Matter at Cosmic Scales. The absolute physical limits that render static material alloys, continuous conduits, and rigid framing, e.g., solid Dyson spheres, ringworlds, space elevators, self-destructing, gravitational gradient stress, severe differential tidal forces exceeding the ultimate tensile strength of physical atomic bonds, frame dragging and relativistic shear, Kerr-metric space-time dragging that induces continuous twisting and immediate lattice destruction across large structures, thermal expansion and energy transport bottlenecks, closed thermodynamic conduits that accumulate localized heat, causing explosive thermal expansion and structural breach. Fundamental statement of the Hobart Law of Macroengineering. The directive mandating the total elimination of physical plumbing, material conduits, and rigid framing at macro scales. Structural integrity, mass transport, and energy distribution must be executed through pure spatial field geometry and macroatomic physics, maintained via dynamic networks of self-replicating universal units operating in non-contact equilibrium. Mechanics of the macroatomic metric. Field-governed dynamic framing, replacing solid girders with intersecting force fields and tuned potential wells. Units lock into non-contact nodal distances, absorbing gravitational waves and tidal distortion with variable elasticity. Open space energy and mass distribution, replacing physical pipes and wiring with directed particle streams, coherent radiation vectors, and magnetic containment corridors through open vacuum, eliminating thermal wall friction. Decentralized spatial equilibrium, a fluid, self-balancing array that dynamically adjusts relative node spacing to dampen macro-scale physical shocks, e.g., stellar flares or orbital shifts. Self-healing network dynamics and regenerative longevity. Universal unit autonomy. Every discrete node possesses autonomous fabrication apparatus, raw material processing systems, and functional instructions to produce identical duplicates. Ambient resource harvesting. Continuous capture and refinement of diffuse space plasma, cosmic dust, and solar wind radiation. Indefinite network maintenance, real-time spatial field compensation for damaged or displaced nodes, paired with immediate local fabrication of replacement units to maintain field density permanently. Structural comparison matrix. Rigid framework architecture, relies on solid alloys, rivets, welds, and continuous beams. Fails via shear stress, torque, and material fatigue, strictly limited to subplanetary scales, requires external maintenance. Hobart macroatomic architecture, relies on field-governed nodes, directed force vectors, and open space field channels. Mitigates failure through dynamic elasticity and real-time unit replacement, scales infinitely across stellar, galactic spaces, achieves indefinite operational lifespan.